3 Mississippi, which just said, because I'm an independent woman, apparently, today. Everybody has abandoned me. Um, so Mike actually ended up outside burning around the pond and stuff. And then he decided to let a field that he was going to bush hog and like save the diesel, and he decided to burn it. So he has to kind of monitor that. And it's a good time because we got this big storm rolling in. So, well, I'll get to that in a minute. Thank you, Sharon. Sharon says praying for you guys and all in the path of these storms. Sounds like we're in for a couple nights and early mornings with very little sleep. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. I'm having a little bit of a rough week right now. I had a migraine on Monday that I woke up with, and then I've been yesterday was okay. Um, Today I've been like slight headache, nauseous, and dizzy. So that's fun. But because the storm's coming in, at least there was no youth group tonight. Church was canceled, so I don't have to go try to drive and pick up Frank and take her and any all that. So that's good. That's the one good thing. I'm still waiting to hear. I feel like they're gonna call off school tomorrow, but they haven't as of yet. So I don't know. We'll see. Steve C, hello. Philip, ready to kick this pig. I love it. Randall Grunland, what is up, y'all? It is the storm is up. The storm is up. Auntie Anne, my love, my member. Gotta love a good member. Hello. Janky B, hi. Let's see. Beth, hello. She says, hey, peeps. Treasure Hunter, hello, everyone. Tanya, hello. Maybe it's Tanya and not Tanya. I don't know. Names like that always get me messed up. I never know if I'm saying it right. Like Naomi or Noe. No, now I can't say the other way. It's messed up in my head already. What are you going to do? Sherman's Family Farm. Howdy, y'all. Hello. East Texas Outdoor. A little bit like if I could lay down right now and do this live with you, I would feel a little better. Being upright right now is a little bit like I'm really not enjoying the upright part, but I'm a strong, independent woman. I'll do what I need to do. And I don't get sick very often or anything like that. So, and I'm gonna blame my friend Beth because my friend Beth had a little procedure this morning. So I think that I got her nausea from anesthesia. I think is what happened. So, Rebel at Heart, hello. Oh my goodness. Hello, everyone. Tree Haven, what is going on? Hello. Oh my goodness. Sorry, catching up on comments here. This is the struggle when I'm by myself, which I mean, I know a lot of people do lives by themselves. Tim does lives by himself. David does lives by himself. There's a lot of us that do lives by ourselves. I end up doing lives by myself quite a bit, or at least part of the live by myself quite a bit. And I used to do lives by myself a lot when we first were doing lives. But I find the older I get, the less I like doing it by myself. Because I have to get really close to read the thing, and my phone, I'm trying to charge my phone right now, so I can't read it off my phone because I was out filming the burn. Spoiler alert, that'll be coming out on Sunday. That's only part of the video. There's a bunch of other stuff that we did that'll be in that video. But my as a result, my battery is like sad. So I'm trying to charge it up just in case our power goes out. Not that we don't have stuff charged up and generators and stuff ready to go, but just because. So I feel like that's it, you know. No judgment here with Tish. Hello. What's going on? I'm apparently a pretty good fisherman, Steve says. Yeah, we actually, a spoiler alert, those of you that are uh, Patreon members, actually posted that video today that's going to be out on Friday on 3 Mississippi. There's actually a sipping and spilling today that's, I think, currently uploading that's just taking longer that I shot today that will be on sipping and spilling hopefully later tonight, I guess, for today. Best laid plans, try to get ahead of schedule and then things happened. But yeah, so that video, the fishing video, you guys will see on Friday. We actually, it was our first time going fishing. Um, all three of us out here since we moved. And man, I hadn't fished in a minute. I think the last time I actually went fishing, well, that's not true. Last time I went fishing, we went up to Big Bear in 2019. That was our big summer trip. And I did fish in Big Bear. And I caught a few trout, which trout fishing is my favorite. I've gone bass fishing before. I don't enjoy it as much. I really do like trout fishing. Um, though some of you may remember, I have a giant trout on my arm. I really do like trout fishing, but I'm not like as much into the bass fishing. So I guess I moved in the wrong direction for the kind of fishing I like. But that's all right. I mean, we didn't get to go that often anyway, so I'll survive. Um, and it's still fishing. I mean, I could still fish for like the little bluegills and the crappie and stuff like that. I'm not one for going out in the boat. I much prefer like a waders and a belly boat is really my jam. Um, I really like to get out in the middle of things and go up into the mouth of a creek or an inlet or something and just kind of hang out and fish and catch my limit there. But oh, I missed it. I missed it because I was jibber jawing. Yeah, Mike's out playing with fire. I know normally, you guys, he's busy being dramatic, as Tim would say, and making his dramatic entrance. But tonight he's out there playing with fire, and he's out there with the zero turn, like cutting around it and like shaping it where he wants it to go, and then blowing it with the blower. And yeah, so hopefully, I mean, he's got it under control. I hear him out there with the zero turn. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but you know. Paul Honeyman, hello. Into the mist, Miss Lindsay, hello. Yeah, he's burning off a whole field. So for those of you who might remember, like if you think of our pond that's up front, it's actually in our like opening thing, it comes up on the pond. Right behind that pond, there's another small pasture. So that whole area is probably, I think that whole area of the front and that back is like 6 acres, maybe a little over. So he's burning the bottom half of it because that was the section, because it's downhill and it wants to burn downhill. And he had the time and was already out there doing it. So he was like, well, I might as well. So, you know, oh, I got behind on comments again. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. What's going on? Let's see. Hold on here. I missed something. Peyton is grass. It is me from the church. I love y'all's YouTube channel. Oh, thank you. I love it. Sorry, trying to catch up on some comments. I know a lot of you are just saying hi to each other, which is totally acceptable, but I don't want to miss anything important here. But yeah, so I did get to go fishing, so that'll be out on Friday. And then Sunday's video is going to be kind of a hodgepodge of a couple things that we did in this last week that kind of putting together. So it should hopefully hold y'all's attention. We did some fish coop. So I'm excited to share that with you guys tonight on Sunday. My brain's a little foggy today. My apologies. Laura, Mike's cousin, says need to have Mike take you trout fishing up in the Hiawassee River. It's where they made the movie Deliverance. Yeah, he's talked about that quite a bit. And I always tease him that so I'm sorry, apparently my connection is not fantastic tonight. It keeps telling me it's cranky, so my apologies. Randall Grunland, $10 super chat. Sid, go get some blue lenses. Works great for migraines. Yeah, I've heard that. I don't usually get migraines unless like there's usually something else going on. And I feel like I've got something pinched or out of alignment that's causing it right now. And I tried all kinds of stretches. And I mean, I exercise every day. So I don't know what I did. I do know that even before we moved, I've gone to the chiropractor since we moved a few times. But something's still not right, like in my hips. It's something's pinching not right because I've all of a sudden lost a bunch of flexibility and it's just something's off. So I'll have to dig into that a little bit. I might hey, really? Really? It was quiet for a minute. It was good for a minute. And then all heck breaks out. Um, but yeah, so I might have to go to back to California in the next couple months for something. So I think I might hit up my old chiropractor because he just knows he's been my chiropractor since I was a teenager and he just knows what needs done. And I think something's mad. So I'm gonna have to see if I'm gonna have to fly to California to get it fixed, but is what it is. MT Homestead, Mike and Terry, what is going on? What is going on? Yeah, migraines I've had them before where I've thrown up, and it's not fun. And I was so worried the first time it happened to me, I was in public and I was at like a little strip mall and it just hit hard. And it was the kind where, when you've had a little too much, when you've imbibed a little bit too much and you get that like feeling like, oh, it's coming now. It was that, but it was the feeling of a hangover on top of it. And I was like, well, that's weird because I haven't been drinking. It's like, middle of the day. Like think I was like 20. And I was getting ready to get back in the car and it hit me and I ended up just throwing up at my car. And I was horrified that people were going to think that I was like drunk driving because I had just thrown up profusely by my car. And I was like, this is not what's happening. But like, I don't know, like I just felt like a cop was going to roll up on me and give me a breathalyzer instantly, but that didn't happen. And then it just subsided. I still had the headache, still was a little nauseous, but it wasn't whatever the immediate of it was kind of slowed down. And I was able to get home and everything. But that was the first time it ever happened. So I'm telling you, whew, it was not pleasant. I don't recommend having a migraine that causes in a mall. I just don't. Just there's better places to do it, I think, instead of in public with everybody. But So yeah, so this storm is supposed to hit tonight, guys. I emptied my rain gauge. I'm curious to see how much rain we end up getting overnight. I know that it's supposed to be a bad one. I don't know if you never know how hard it's going to hit your area versus somebody 10 minutes away from you. And then there's tornado watches and there's flood watch and there's, I think we're under a flood warning, but a tornado watch, I think is how it stands right now. So we'll see how that goes. I am enjoying the longer daylight hours. It's starting to, get dark later. Like right now, it's just now like dark. So, no rain right now, Jerry. No rain right now. It's right now is like still warm out. Not windy yet. Can't really even see any clouds. That might just be the smoke haze in the sky from like burning the whole place down. But I didn't notice any big crazy clouds moving in. Sometimes you can kind of like, I see it coming, but you can't really see it coming this time. But I think it's not supposed to really hit until like 10 o'clock, if memory serves. But we'll see. So Lila Newton, I heard this is where all the cool kids were hanging out. You're right about that. That's where all the cool kids are. Oh, your rain's supposed to start tomorrow, Auntie Anne? I hope it isn't too bad for everybody. That's right. Terry laughed. Mike and Terry said, Terry laughed when you said you don't recommend a migraine. She said 0 stars. Yeah, I don't recommend it. That's accurate, MT Homestead. It's not fun. And I don't get them super often. And I'm not the type to like like I could be sick as a dog right now with like a cold and y'all wouldn't necessarily know unless I sounded funny, right? I'm not the type to like complain when I'm sick. I just have like I still have stuff to do, right? You moms know when you're like doesn't matter how sick you are unless you're vomiting or whatever, but the nausea gets me, like the dizziness was getting me. And so I had to like go and lay back down for a while, and Mike brought me a bucket and some water just in case. But I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it this morning, but I did. I did. So, although you'll see if you guys watch Stay Sipping and Spilling that I filmed by myself, there was a couple times where I had some waves of it hit me, and I was like, "Hold on, I need a sip of water," and I just was like, I was fighting it, but I did good. I did good. So, yeah, we're supposed to get hammered pretty good tonight, so we'll see. The only thing, and Mike's, trying to talk to me because he was watching Ryan Hall, y'all, and he wants to have a big conversation about the tornado watches. And my whole thing is, look, I I am not a big fan of uh major potential disaster events, right? I never liked earthquakes. Not a fan. I'm not scared of them. Like I was never scared of them in the sense that but I had a healthy respect for them. But part of that was like just when I felt it coming, I got and Mike would laugh at me because I would always feel it before it would come. Like I have like weird radar with it, right? I don't know, maybe it's just because I was born there, but I just could feel it coming. And I would be like, we're about to have an earthquake. And he'd be like, what? And then the house would start shaking. And he'd be like, how do you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. Of all the weird gifts to have, a 2-second head start on knowing there's an earthquake is really not the greatest gift to have, but I have it. So, and then there's also like earthquake weather. If you ever hear, it's like, I don't know, the sky looks like it does before a tornado, but you have an earthquake. It's like a total thing. Ask anybody who's from California, they can tell you that. So everybody's always real leery when they're like, "Oh, it's earthquake weather. Look at this." It's just one of those things. There's like a series of weather events, and then it's like, "Oh, we're gonna have an earthquake." And they're never like, obviously, it's never. I've never been through one that was like devastating, but they always just are a little freaky. So with tornadoes, I've obviously never been around them before, and we would get tornado warnings like once in a blue moon in California, but like nothing ever happened. Or you'd see like a little one on the side of the road once in a while, which I would classify more as like a dirt devil, but you see it once in a while, right? So, but out here, I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. I know my shelter is prepared. I know what I need to grab to go. And that's it. But I don't want to dwell on it because it will cause me to have anxiety to the point where I will be curled up in the corner chewing on my hair. So Mike wants to like talk about it and tell me like the severity and the this and the that. And I'm like, I don't want to have this conversation. I just don't. So I just don't talk to him about it. Oh, men are always big old babies when they're sick. Mike from MT Homestead. Ah, Paul Henneman says, LOL, I love it when Sid goes into the English accent. I know, I can't help myself. Randall, you're getting hammered too? In a different way, sir, in a different way. I gave up alcohol for Lent, was one of the things I gave up. I gave up many things for Lent, but that was one of the things. One of the things, which my friend was like, really? Because she wanted to go out in like a week. And I was like, sorry, I'll watch you have one, but I won't be joining you. And she's like, well, that's no fun. What are you going to do? Oh, thank you, Edward. Edward said he said a prayer. Thank you. Oh, you are, Rebecca? So Rebecca said it's in Byhalia in Marshall County right now, which is like, I don't know, hour and a half ish from here. Um, so it's coming. It's coming our way. We'll see. Oh, you got rain starting in North Carolina, lonely hitchhiker Kent says. Auntie Anne says way more scared of tornadoes or of earthquakes than tornadoes. Really? See, I don't know. I guess I just have more experience with one than the other. I mean, earthquakes used to terrify me when I was a kid. Let's not get it twisted. I was absolutely petrified of them. I remember the one really bad one we had when I was little. Um, I was maybe like 4 or 5, and I remember we all got under the dining room table, and I could see it was one of the rolling ones because there's different kinds. There's shakers, there's rollers, there's like all right. So this one, I could see the carpet going like this, and I just remembered thinking, "Oh my god!" And of course, one of my favorite movies when I was a kid was Tremors. So I'm convinced that there is now an earthworm monster making the earthquake that is going to come and eat me underneath the dining room table. Yeah. So that's where my brain goes. Uh, but other than that, like, earthquakes when they happen are usually pretty quick. It's like done. And there might be like an aftershock or two, and like your dogs might go, huh? And my parrot that I used to have would always know when there was like an earthquake. So, and did not like them. But what are you gonna do? I'm in Oklahoma. When we get tornado warnings, it means it's time for a party. I know, right? That's like when people have the hurricane warnings down on the coast and stuff. Man, I'm telling you. David Glunt, can you all get your pond stocked? So, um, spoiler alert, Friday's video is about us going fishing. And then last night, Mike and Frankie grabbed a few poles, went back to our neighbor's pond, and caught some couple bass and some bluegill and one crawdad, and put it in our little pond. So we'll see if it will multiply and be fruitful. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll miss some comments, y'all. Let's see. Greg says he's felt quakes in 3 different states. Well, let's see. Oh, the other big one that I felt was we were on vacation, that same vacation in Big Bear. And we had just sat down at a table in a little restaurant brewery thing, and they had all these beer kegs behind this like glass wall. And we just sat down at this belly bar, and we were about to order our food, and the whole place just started shaking. And it was probably one of the longer earthquakes that I've ever sat through. And everybody at first was like, "Is that an earthquake? Is it? You guys think is it a big truck?" And then it was like, and we were like, "Oh no!" Is it? And then by the time everybody was about ready to like, should we go outside? Should we? Because there were no tables to get under. There was no doorways. Like there was too many people. And by the time everybody was starting to like, not panic, but start to go, "Oh, we should probably take cover." It had already been going on for about, maybe 15 seconds at that point. It stopped. So they don't generally last that long. Paul Henneman, Sid, funny that Mike's never around when the tremors start. He's the earthworm. Maybe. He might be. I don't know. That's very true. Oops, what happened? Why is my Lila Newton says she's got Ryan Hall all up on the 60. Go put some energy things in your shelter now. Tasca and Victoria are under the gun. Love you. Take care. Oh boy. Scary, scary. Yeah, I'm not excited about this particular storm. I know we were having a very mild February, so I knew that we weren't, out from under it just yet. When your local weather guy rolls up his sleeves, you know it's time to get serious. That's right, Auntie Ann. Hello, big country from Texas. What's going on? Let's see. Sorry, I got behind on your comments because I was talking too much. Brian from the Vineyard Farmhouse. Hello, hello. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Oh, hold on here. Sorry, guys. I this is what happens when I'm by myself. I can't believe Mike bailed on me tonight. That's what he does. That's all right. Jen, hello. I just saw that somebody said hi to you, but I didn't see you in here because I'm struggle busing. But that's okay. That's what I do. There we go. I think I caught up. There we go. Randall Grunland, $10 super chat. Cheers to Philip W. Ryder, vet to vet that pounded the same sand. Nice. We love our vets around here. You know that. We love our vets around here. Mike's a vet, and we love all vets because we love our freedom. And we love the fact that some of y'all were willing to sacrifice for that. And that means a lot. MT, I know, is one. Yep. Big country. He's a vet. There we go. Gotta love it. David, I may have thrown Mike into the fire. I mean, there's times where he tempts me to. Not gonna lie. There's times where I'm like, I got 45 acres and I cook all your meals. So just saying. Just saying. Oh, you said, "Hey, hey, I'm here, but cooking, Jen." All right, got you. I got you. Oh man, I'm telling you what. I swear, we're almost halfway into this thing, and I'm just like, man, I thought he was gonna come popping through here, but no, it's just me. I'm sorry, you guys are stuck with just me at like half power here. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, I'm not looking forward to tonight's storm. That is very true. Auntie Anne. Yeah, but do you have a life insurance policy on him? No, I should probably take one out. He is a little bit accident prone. Not gonna lie. He gives me a lot of grief, but I have never injured myself to the point where I had to immediately go to the hospital, and Mike has. Now, granted, Mike does certain things that are like a little bit more dangerous, but the time that he really hurt himself was when we were processing chickens. So I feel like it's fair for me to say, and like he will hurt himself, cut himself, do things um, during things that he should not have really hurt himself doing. So you're right. I should probably up the policy. So Deep South Homestead, hello. Mike just was out there doing some controlled burns, and he hasn't come back in yet. So I can hear him running the zero turn in circles out there in the dark right now. So he's trying to get it done before the storm hits. Kimber K, hello, Sydney. Everyone be safe out there. A lot of storms coming now in the days ahead. I know, not exciting. Steve C. Sid's like, I've got 45 acres and Kenny, the bucket tractor. Yeah, that's true. Tell Mike to stop over analyzing everything. I know. Ah. Oh, thank you, Cindy Brown. She says this color looks good on me. This color could look good on you too. We have it in our bonfire store. I do like it's like the indigo, I think is what they call it, which I wouldn't think this is. I don't know if I would classify this quite as indigo, but it's uh it's a pretty color. I do like it. So thank you. Karen, hello. David and Tamra, hello. I didn't see you in there earlier, but I bet you were creeping in. I better knock on some wood. Oh, I lack the energy. I know. The only thing that bothers you about storms is the wind. Guess because I have so many trees around the house. That says David. Yeah. Um, I don't like the aggressive wind because even the stuff that you think is like safe and like tied down, it never is. And we used to get real bad. I mean, we had one that was like 90 miles an hour at the old place, and it actually ripped all of the roofing off of the kennels, the big wooden kennels with like real roofing on it. Actually ripped all the roofing off of that one time. So, and it was a windy. And then it was like everything, well, with the pool, everything ended up in the pool. All of the debris, all of the leaves and the plant matter that got blown around all went in the pool. So at least we don't have that to worry about here. But I can't tell you how many times I have swept off and tried to clean out the flower beds up front and the porch and stuff to no avail. It's like literally the next day or like later that afternoon, one little gust of wind and there's oak leaves everywhere again. And I'm just like, man, whew. Deep South Homestead says, except weather is Mississippi treating you right. I would say it is. We really do love it here. I love the people are amazing. I have made some really, really great friends. And it's a beautiful place to live. Everyone's been super nice and welcoming. I really do love our church. I feel like we have a really good church family here. Um, and Frankie and I are Mike's involved in it too, but less so because of his job and timing of things. But Frankie and I are pretty involved in the other activities and things that the church does, and really enjoying that and all the people we've met through that. So yes, to answer your question, I'm very happy here. You know, the weather, while these kinds of weather events are a little bit like nerve-wracking, I don't mind the weather changes. I actually kind of like the fact that like today is sunny, tomorrow is rainy. Like I actually kind of like the bipolar weather a little bit. I really do. Call me weird, but I do kind of enjoy the changing of all that. And then, this kind of being our first full season of watching the seasons change and watching how the property and the trees and the area change, what blooms first and what, and kind of paying attention to all that is really neat. So I'm enjoying that a lot. Hello, Kemp Family Hill. Let's see. Sorry, I missed a bunch of comments because there I go, Gibber John again. Thank you, Cindy Brown. Yes, she just put up our sipping and spilling link. I love it. Thank you. Yeah, for those of you that maybe don't know, Sippin' and Spillin' is our talking channel where we either kind of sort of like we do on the live. Sometimes we end up kind of spilling some stuff with you guys a little bit, but we sort of spill stuff that we're working on or talk about some things that are coming up. And sometimes we ask for your opinion on stuff. Sometimes it's something silly that happened that we want to talk about, but it's not really something we would put on Three Mississippi. So yeah, it's just sort of our like stream of consciousness channel, I guess you could say. Sometimes it's a little bit like channel surfing, that one. So I don't know. Hello, Heather. Oh my goodness. That's right, Cindy. If you want to meet us, that's true. We will be at the Mid-America Meetup at 10 Killer Lake that MT Homestead is hosting. I am so excited to see everybody that's going to be there. There's a ton of channels going. There's a ton of like what would you call it? I don't know, people that watch YouTube. And then some of the people that I would say are like, we need a better title than let's just say moderators, but like the behind the scenes people, I guess, like people like Auntie Anne. And I think Cindy Brown said she was coming when you were in, but then I thought maybe you weren't because I saw something you said on Tim's live about that. And I thought you said you weren't going, but then I thought you said something else that made it sound like you were going. So I wasn't sure. But I know you're in California, so I wasn't sure if you were coming all the way out or not. Viewers, yes, viewers like you. I always think of PBS. PBS is supported by viewers like you. That's YouTube, man. Oh, Cindy Brown is going to be there. So we will have our moderators in the house. I love it. We'll have Cindy Brown and Auntie Anne. I love it. I love it. Payne family, what is going on? Matt Payne and the gang. What is up? Man, so for those of you who don't know, Matt Payne has a YouTube channel, but he will take long sabbaticals, sometimes as long as like a year, and not post anything. And then everybody's like, Matt, why aren't you posting? Matt, why aren't you posting? Matt, why aren't you posting? And he doesn't post. And then all of a sudden, he'll post a video. And I know that you just posted one, or you were threatening to post one, but haven't seen it pop up yet on my thing. Although it's been so long since you posted, it may not notify me. I don't know. Randall Grunlin, they talk smack about me on Spillin'. They mean cheers to all active and vets. It says Mike's going to send up some good whiskey because he's a vet too. That's right. I'm sure that man does not travel without whiskey on him. So I'm sure that, is that allowed at that campgrounds, MT? I mean, I'm assuming it is. Is like alcohol allowed there? I don't know. I don't know what to say. Maybe. Good grief. Cold Beer Ranch. John says, who's this Payne family you speak of? I know. Are you guys coming to the meetup? Since it's like in your backyard? You're going live at 7:30 tonight? Holy moly, look at you just taking charge. I can't even with that. My goodness. Karen's like, Matt Hugh? I know. John and Natasha, I think they're coming. Are you guys coming out to the meetup? I don't know if the Payne family is. I feel like everybody needs to come to the meetup, mainly because I think it'll just be a fun, good time. I love where it's going to be. I think it's going to be great. So I love it. Payne family says, how you been out there in that new country? I love it. And honestly, you guys are going to laugh. So it feels in some ways in my immediate like home spot, right, on my property right now, sometimes it feels less country than my old place in California, simply because, well, I have more room here and I can hop on the four-wheeler and like go, right? or I can get in Malin and drive away and in the side by side. But I don't have all my animals yet, and we don't have an established garden yet. So we don't have all the things that like make it like a thing yet, right? So that part for me is like struggle bus. But I love it here. So I mean, 7:30 is your Yahtzee time, Jen. Oh my good gravy. But yeah, I do. I love it. So yeah, I'm happy that we're here. Do I miss some things about, my friends from back home and some of the things about my old house that maybe I miss? Yes. But do I love Mississippi? Yes, I do. All the things that make it so you don't really need to leave. Exactly, Cindy Brown. All the things that I had going that like, I had my own chickens that we had for meat and whatever. And I have all those things coming. Like they're happening. It's just not right now. I don't have like a bunch of animals to take care of and Mike doesn't have a giant garden to tend to. And so I just feel a little bit like, you know, because this is always the time of year where I'm like starting to incubate eggs and I'm starting to like, really ramp things up for spring. And so it just kind of feels weird to like not have that going right now. It feels like very against every cell in my body that I'm not doing those things right now. Ah, there is plenty of rain to make things grow out here. That is true. Oh, I wonder if Mike is going to deign us with his presence. I don't know. We'll see. Thank you. He says, that's good. I'm glad y'all like it. Yeah, we do. We love it. Mike's was out there playing with fire. So, Randall Grunland, $2 super chat. Tell Mike he forgot the double top plate.
Oh,
here, I have to
what
scoot
is
over.
up?
Look at this. He's such a diva. He's in here 37 minutes late.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
No love. No love.
I'm sure she already told you the story.
I did. Well, I mean, enough of the story.
I'll tell my version of it. I was just going to burn a small area around the pond. And when the pond got done burning.
Then he got bit by the firebug.
Well, okay.
No, I understand.
So the fire started creeping into the edge of the field. And we've got a couple of acres right there that I was getting ready to bush hog and like burn a bunch of diesel fuel to bush hog it. So as this fire started creeping into the edge of the field, I was watching it. I let it go a little bit. And it was burning nice and slow. And I said, why am I about to bush hog this? Let's burn it. So I let the whole field burn and we just finished with that. Fire's out.
There you go.
Yeah.
There it is. There you have it.
I don't think I'm a pyro. I think it just like it made sense.
Yeah.
Plus, fire's cool.
Did you know that Matt Payne is actually in the room?
Stop
He
it.
did a video this week, and he's gonna go live at 7:30 tonight.
Did you upload a video this week?
I haven't watched it yet.
I'm gonna have to go check.
I don't know if it's fully up yet.
Look there, Payne family.
Yeah, I told you.
Don't burn the countryside down. I know. You know what? I text all the neighbors and I text the fire chief and said I'm about to start a fire.
But then
don't worry about it.
But then he sent a video to the neighbor, and Lisa calls me and she's like, "Is everything okay? Mike just sent a video, and it looks like maybe things are not okay."
Things are fine.
And I was like, "Oh no, I think he's fine because he didn't say anything, and I'm inside." So, I'm like, don't send Ellen over with a big hose.
The intention was to burn it, and that's what happened.
Yeah, so, things burned.
I didn't burn anything I didn't want to burn.
No, that's true. So. Yeah. So I don't know. Are you guys the Payne family? Are you guys gonna come down, bring the kiddos, and come for the meetup in Oklahoma since it's like literally like right by y'all?
Yeah.
Like that seems silly.
Yeah, I think
Cindy Brown says, do you know how the old place is holding up in all this weather we are getting in California? I don't know if you've talked to them at all, have you?
I have not talked to them.
I know that Ramona got
extremely recently.
I know. Yeah, it did get snow.
They got snow. Wow.
Yeah, it did get snow. So it snowed at the old house. I think it was last week, and then I know I think they're getting another storm now. I heard. I don't know. I haven't been following the weather out there because I've been following the weather out here. But I did hear, and I did check in with my aunt a couple weeks ago when they had some crazy weather. But
is Mike going to the meetup? My current intention is to go to the meetup and bring a guitar. So,
and whiskey.
When's the meetup?
It's after Lent.
Okay. I'm not drinking whiskey for 40 days, y'all. So, yeah, that's fine. I'll bring a bottle of whiskey and a guitar.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And what was it? Big Country was asking about the Eden Grow System. I saw your message about that. I haven't Googled it yet.
They're gonna try. There we
I
go.
feel like I've looked into it before, but I'll know when I look into it again. Um, I mean, I've looked into all kinds of different growing concepts, hugelkultur, and I've done a lot of them, and kind of implement versions of them into what I'm doing. Um, don't worry, Randall. Randall, are you going to be there? All right, that's cool, man. I'd love to meet you. I was the first person you thought of, dude. I appreciate that, man. I haven't even been doing many gardening videos lately. I used to do a lot of gardening videos, but obviously when we moved, we didn't get to bring our garden with us. So having to start over, it just didn't make sense to try to start over in the middle of winter. So I really am just not. I mean, other than the strawberries and then all the seeds that I've started and a little bit of garden. Yeah, I'm sure I
He
smell
smells
like
like a campfire and regret.
fire. Why the regret?
Because I regret the fact that I took a big sniff because there's a little bit of funk going on underneath the campfire.
Well, there should be. I just burned 3 acres. Woo! The cost of the trailer we used to move. We didn't.
Well, we didn't
We
use just
sort of
a
used a trailer.
trailer.
We
Like,
used a company.
we used a company. So depending
Yeah.
on how much of their trailer you use, depends like on the cost. But we used a company called UPack.
Yeah.
Um,
So they drop the trailer off.
yeah.
You fill it. You pack it, and hence the name UPack, and then they come hook up to it and drive it away.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't remember how much was it for like one full trailer. Never mind the partial and all that.
Yeah, because we ended up doing another partial. But I want to say it was about $8,000.
I feel like it was 9, so that's probably
Yeah,
right.
it was
Probably right in there.
around some. It was like 8.
8 to 9,000.
Yeah, it was like
something like that.
8,500 or something like that. Yeah, so it was somewhere in there.
And that was a 48-foot, like
And
a full-size trailer.
Yeah, and tall, not like the U-Hauls that are only like so high that you don't have to really like.
Some U-Hauls are tall.
Some are tall, but like but the U-Hauls,
It
were
was going to be so much more expensive.
Yeah,
It was going to be so much more expensive to do it by U-Haul. It was crazy.
Mayflower wanted $30,000 for one truck.
Yeah, you got to shop around.
So I was like, that's not.
It's unfortunate because if you shop around, if you call them and you ask them for rates from, Tupelo, Mississippi to San Diego, California,
It's
half the price.
Yeah, it's half the price.
That you're paying an exit tax there. Everybody knows everybody's leaving the West Coast and they're charging you double. It's highway robbery.
It is. Yeah, it was crazy. And I was like, oh nope, I don't need to follow up with that company. Like, nope. But UPack, I was really happy with their service from start to finish. I highly recommend. And that's for a full size giant trailer. If you don't need that much, it's less. Like I think their cheapest package was like $3,000 that they had. So like their minimum.
But you weren't going to move much.
No.
You weren't going to move a full 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house and a shed and all gardening supplies and
right. Like it depends on how much stuff you actually have to move versus whatever. But it's one of those things where it's like, well, are these things that we're going to have to replace when we get there and have to spend money on? Is it worth bringing it with us? And there was a lot of things that we went through that and like made that decision. Like this, we're going to get rid of. This, we're going to keep. Like, so.
Yeah, I kind of looked at everything and said, I know what the real estate in the moving truck is costing me to keep this. Is it worth that to keep? And that was kind of how I weighed stuff. Like even our patio furniture, some of it came, some of it didn't. It takes up a lot of real estate.
Yeah.
So, and plus we also brought a U-Haul.
We did.
And a friend's livestock trailer full of stuff, not livestock, like full of stuff. And the back of the pickup truck. I mean, we moved a lot.
Yeah. A lot of people, you got to remember too, like there's different versions of moving, like depending on where you're at in your life. Like for us, we'd already been together like a couple decades and we have a kid and we had like antique furniture that was like family heirloom stuff that we had to bring. Like there's things like that that it was like, well, that was not going to get sold or not taken. And I can't just throw that into a horse trailer. Like I know like there's things that you can do, like people buy their own trailers. And yes, eventually we are going to want a horse trailer or livestock trailer for those types of things. But we didn't want to buy that in California and then pack it and move it out here. It just didn't make sense.
Right, because of the cost of them.
Right.
Somebody mentioned a Simple Life, going that route, and that made perfect sense. And frankly, if we could have bought a livestock trailer at a reasonable price,
Right,
we would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
But everything's more expensive there, so it didn't make sense.
Just didn't make sense.
Paul Honeyman wanted to know if it was worth it to keep Sid. Well, look, dude, she took up very little real estate in the moving vehicles. She was an important driver, but I will say, of all the things that we brought with us, she's probably one of the most expensive.
Whatever. You can cook your own dinner from here on out, mister. Good grief.
Whoa!
Randall Grunland, $2 super chat. I'm not going to read this one fully. Tim is giving special presents at the meetup.
Tea.
Yeah. That's all I'm going to say.
Twisters.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of close, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Let's see. The Kemp Family Hill. We saw the moving video where Frankie slept most of the way to Mississippi.
No kidding.
That's true. She did. Yeah, she did. And and our buddies helped us get out here, and that was a huge help because we couldn't have driven everything ourselves and done. I would have had to make trips by myself in order to like get everything out here, which was not feasible.
I'll tell you what, Randall, Tim is giving out the clap at the meetup.
That's right.
We can thank him for that.
We can. 100% true.
Yeah.
100% true. Oh my goodness. I know. It's funny because like now I when I think about that whole experience of driving from there to here, it's just like, I can't believe we did that. Like I'm like, man, that's like, and it's silly because like people drive across the country all the time. Long haul truckers do it all the time. It just seemed excessive. I think mainly because I think this is why it seemed excessive. I never got a full night's sleep the whole time.
When do you get a full night's sleep?
Well, this was like very. I know I get up like 12 times.
I've moved across country so many times. It's like,
yeah. But for me, I was like, man, this is like I need more sleep if I'm going to be functioning and driving a vehicle all day.
Oh, Josh, man, you're killing me. No, I didn't see that, but I want to go look at it right now. Tag me in some Henry Rifles on Facebook. Josh was messaging me. We were messaging back and forth while I was out burning, and he was like, "Hey, dude, I'm watching your wife on my phone right now. I'm pretty sure she misses you in there."
Liberty Farm says, Mike, I hope you got a lead on a doghouse on Airbnb because you sleep in there tonight after that comment about
dude,
me.
I just built an amazing chicken coop. It's bigger than Frankie's bedroom. So
yeah.
And there's no chickens in it yet. So if need be,
poop free at the moment.
Yeah.
So you get in there, and then it's gonna be full of.
But we got some pretty good weather coming in right now, though. So
we talked about that earlier. We covered the weather.
Yeah. I don't want to go there then.
So what happens when you're late to the party?
Oh, Big Country's not going to be there. You're not going to be at the meetup. I was thinking you said you were. That's too bad, man.
Wanda, it never goes away. It will never die down.
Oh, cool. Cindy put up a link to the playlist of our moving. So there's a whole bunch of like all the videos that had to do with moving. We put into a single playlist. So thank you, Cindy. That's good thinking right there. That's why they do playlists, right?
That's right. That's accurate.
No judgment here with Tish Ross. Got to run. Thank you for being with us. She gonna be with Full Blown Country shortly. Yeah.
Randall Grunland, $5 super chat. David is going to get dragged through the mud by Kenny for everyone that says Uber is sexy. Has absolutely nothing to do with size.
Hey, look, overwhelmingly, I don't know how many of y'all watched that video that Tim did on Ridge Life, where he compared a whole bunch of statistics between Uber and Big Blue, and even on Tim's own channel, people were beating him up saying Uber was the sexiest tractor. Overwhelming love for Uber on Tim's channel when he was comparing statistics between the two tractors. Uber is a loved tractor, without question. And look, Kenny doesn't even try to compete in the category that those tractors are in. Kenny's like a little brother, right? Kenny's like if they're that bulldog from that old cartoon, remember that little chihuahua that used to bounce around? Hey, Spike, come on, Spike, let's do it. That's Kenny, right? So it's all good. It's all good.
Oh, that's funny.
But I'll tell you right now, Frankie's getting pretty good at operating that little Kenny, that little tractor. At 12 years old, I'm telling you right now, she's way beyond where I was at 12 in so many of these categories. Maybe not in fishing because I didn't expose her to it early enough. Like she's had one little fishing trip so far to a farm pond. So, but you know,
well, we took her to the Sierras when she was little, but I mean, she caught trout on her little Barbie Zebco. But
the bummer for me, and I say bummer not as a negative thing, bummer comparing her to me at 12. The bummer for me taking her on that little fishing trip to the little farm pond that you guys are going to see in Friday, unless you're a Patreon member. If you're a member of our Patreon, it's already live, and actually I saw Steve C comment on it already. Yeah. But she went from 0 to casting a spinning rod with an artificial bait on it, Texas style rig, retrieving it, displaying it, setting the hook, and landing a largemouth bass in 30 minutes. 0 to that, 30 minutes.
It was a largemouth bass, but it had a very small mouth because it was a baby.
It was a small largemouth bass, but it was still of the variety that she was targeting.
I'm just teasing.
And I didn't let her fish with a worm. Well, with a live worm.
That's right, Wanda. She gets it from her mama. Amen.
What?
That's right.
What are you talking about?
Skills.
Not fishing skills.
Hey, I'm a good fisher person. I'm a good trout fisher.
You have caught fish.
I have caught many, many trout. I just struggle with the tying of the knots. I've never been good at tying knots. That's my struggle bus.
Yep.
He just would tie me. This is what we would do. He would tie me a bunch of leader lines that I could then add to my line when a line would break or a fish would swallow it, and I had them all in my vest, and then I would just go out all afternoon and fish.
Yeah. She could present like a fly on a bubble with a spinning rod and set the hook and land a trout, and yeah.
That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
But if that little swivel ever broke off, then she had to come paddle over and find me so I could tie a new one on. She can't tie a knot on a fishing line.
That's accurate.
So I taught Frankie how to tie a fish knot
a million times.
I don't know what the knot's called, but you wrap it 8 times and you go back through the eye, of the line and pull it and slide it down. I taught her that knot, and then we sat at the table and she tied it like a dozen times, and now she's good.
Randall Grunland, $5 super chat. Within 2 years, Mike is going to show David and Tim what's up. I got faith in you, Mike. We appreciate that.
Hey, you know what, Randall? Look, dude, I appreciate that you say that, but you got to remember, for the next 2 years, that while Frankie and I are getting after it out here, guess what Tim and David are going to be doing? Getting after it.
Oh, Josh Ward says that they were talking about her looks, not her skills.
Which one are we talking about?
The comment about she gets it from her mama.
Oh, okay.
Thank God she doesn't look
100%.
Like
you. Yeah.
My goodness.
You know what's funny is when she was born, she looked like me. I mean, she looked like me.
Yeah.
And I was so
I got one of those 4D
happy.
ultrasounds done when she was still in the sack there, and it was like his face in my uterus, and I was like, that's creepy.
She was the 100%. Ugliest baby.
She was not ugly.
She looked like me.
She looked.
First of all, I think all babies are ugly. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's the prettiest thing." I think babiys are ugly. I think.
Let's just say she looks better now than she did when she was fresh out of the chute. Okay.
I think all babies are beautiful.
Once they've been cleaned
as
up
like as an awesome thing, that's created. But if you just look at them, like compare them to a kitten, compare them to a puppy.
Well, fresh kittens don't look that good
compare
either.
them to a
fresh out of the chute
baby goat.
Are we talking like a few days old? Or are we talking like fresh with like amniotic fluid?
I think basically right up until she finally made eye contact with me and smiled the first time. Up
when
until
she was
then,
like a month old. You
yeah.
thought she was ugly until she was like a month old.
Yeah. I was like, oh man, those things are kind of. Yeah. Hey, I'm just saying. That's what
She
that's
was
just
a
what I
cute
think.
baby.
But see,
But
for
she
me,
did look a little bit like him when he was born.
I was ecstatic. I was like, great. I mean, I got a daughter. First of all, what am I going to do with a daughter? I was terrified. And then I was like, I mean, what if she grows up to be pretty like her mom? I'm gonna wind up in prison.
All babies look like Alfred Hitchcock.
There you go.
That's a good one.
So when I thought she was going to be just like atrocious looking, I was a little relieved. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
And then then she started getting prettier. And I was like, man. Now, yeah, all I'm saying is any boys out there that might take a little bit of an interest in wanting to, kind of hang out with her on social, they're gonna have to go hunting with me first, or at least shooting.
Boy.
They're at least gonna have to go out and throw some rounds downrange.
Are they going to come back from that excursion?
Oh, they're gonna come back. They're gonna come back knowing full well that I can shoot from a long ways away. You can outrun me. I'm 50. You're like what, 16?
You're
That's
not
cool,
50
man.
yet.
I'm 50 in like
A couple weeks.
28 days.
Yeah. Well, not 50 yet.
All right.
You have to like age yourself prematurely. That's what he did. I guess I'll keep this really brief. So for when Mike was in his late 30s.
She doesn't keep anything really brief, but let's see what she can do.
Well, if I don't get interrupted, then I do.
All right.
When he was in his late 30s, he kept saying that he was 40 when people would like ask him how old he was or whatever. And he did this for like 3 or 4 years. He just kept telling people that he was 40.
There's a different version of the story, but go ahead.
The non-reality version?
No, I never said I am precisely 40 years old.
No, you just said,
I'd be like, yeah,
I'm 40.
I'm about 40. I'm about 40.
Whatever. He just
I'm about 40.
But
If
he
you're
kept telling
38, you'd
people
be like,
he
I'm
was
about
40.
40.
Whatever. Forever, he's telling people that he's 40, right? So I decided that I was going to throw him a fake 40th birthday party. His birthday's in March. I threw it in June to really throw him off. And I threw him a fake 40th birthday party in the summer, and it was hysterical.
You know the best part of that party?
I don't know.
Was the distraction. We she had a buddy of ours take me out in the bay fishing, and I caught a nice halibut. And then so when we came back to the house, he picked me up, which he never did, which I should have thought was weird. But when he brought me back to the house, and all these people were there, and here was this fake 40th birthday party. I had a big old halibut in a cooler. That was awesome.
Yeah. I don't remember the halibut. I was too frazzled and focused on the party and his folks and everything. So yeah, it was like the whole thing. And Frankie was like itty bitty. She was like a toddler.
That's right. Sandy, we did raise her well enough to shoot for herself. That's a good point.
That's true. She knows what's up. She knows what's up. I'm telling you. All right. Well, let's see. I know apparently Matt Payne's going live at 7:30. I know Full Blown Country with Pretty and Pooch is going live I think at
like
7.
Right now.
Yeah. And then of course you got Mike and Terry, Empty Homestead, going live at 8, and then you got Brian from Vineyard Farmhouse tonight with 12 Stone Ranch on his
and I'm gonna try to catch all of them. I'm gonna try to be in at least all of them for some period of time.
And I'm going to try to eat a little soup and go to bed.
First thing I have to do is go out and make sure I got my fire successfully put out. I drove my zero turn with the blades on along the edge, like where the fire had burned up to my fire break, and it was like almost out, and I just drove a circle around with the blades on along the edge of that what little fire was left, and then looked behind me and there was no fire, but there was still heat, and oxygen.
That's right.
And fuel.
That's right. So
I better go check it out.
Yeah, he's gonna go check that, and we appreciate you guys. And don't forget to check out Friday's video because we went fishing and it was fun. And I hope you all stay safe during these storms, and those of you that are in the path. And love you, and we'll see you
God bless.
next time.